Alrighty, well today we got the Big M 450 in here, and Ferdy, when he was mowing the heifer feed on the last couple fields, he was mowing and then he idled it down, I guess he said, and he was, I don't know, waiting for something. I don't know. He had a text already. He was texting someone. But it was a long text. Anyways, he was sitting there just with the mower deck spinning, and then he throttled it back up, and he heard a bunch of tinging. I had to switch out my batteries, but anyways, he throttled it back up and heard some tinging. So he stopped, he checked, he saw one knife was bad or whatever, changed that, and then as he was spinning it to change the other knife, he saw that this turtle and this turtle were out of time from each other. This one was matching up with all the ones above it, so this one jumped. We pulled it out. Yep, that's the good time to bang on it. We found that this idler gear right here, the bearing shop, which really sucks because we got to pull everything out that way, because I will say it, Krone definitely made that stupid, because you can only get it out one way. At least on their old case one, you could pull it out. Case. The pull type mower.
That's case, that's not Krone.
I know, but I'm saying at least on our old case pull type mower.
Oh, I thought you said on their old case. I'm like, they don't have a case.
On our old case pull type, you could pull all your idlers out from each turtle. So, look at that.
Is that a punch?
Yeah. Anyways, so we gotta pull everything out to get to that one, and you can't even pull it out that way because they didn't make a slot on that side. Well, it is what it is, I guess. So that's today's project. It has, I think Freddie said, over 11,000 acres on it. That's what he told me earlier. That's how much is leased on the mower. So it's got a handful of acres. And guess you got to do some maintenance. Oh, Christoph is doing. He's pulling out the holes. I tried to catch that. Anyways, each idler right here, it's in there, has a top and bottom holder piece with a bolt that goes through the middle. There's seals on it and everything. So you got to beat those out. And it's just a long process. We're gonna get them all beat out with this up in the air, and then we're gonna lower it being flat, and we'll slide them out easy. Ooh. And Christoph is barely holding his pants together.
Gotta let it go somewhere.
He's getting another one. I pulled the first one out just because it's right there, but bearings are in great shape. Gears are in great shape. Even the gear that jumped, it didn't hurt a single tooth on it or chip it, nothing. Not even
once we get it completely out. From
at least what we saw so far. It's just, it must be when the bearing went, it tilted it back enough and it had just enough torque and momentum to jump it. Because it just went like one or two teeth. It was not a lot, but it doesn't take a lot to get out of time. Anyways, we'll do this. This is kind of mind-numbing to watch. I have all the gears out up until the one with the blown bearing. And I just wanted to show you, I gotta grab the last couple of these on the ground. We actually had to set it down on 4x4s and then whack them out because there was so much vibration with it in the air, we couldn't get a couple of them, or 5 of them. So those are all numbered. It really doesn't have to be, but we numbered them just so that way we can put stuff back in order. And I've been checking stuff as they're coming out. I have yet to find a bad tooth or a bad bearing. Like, they sound perfect. So they're very expensive to change because you have to buy the gear with the bearing. You can buy a bearing separate, but it doesn't really, they don't sell it to where you can change it out. It's specifically like heat treated, pressed in, Christoph was saying there's a snap ring inside, and on the old Big M once we pressed them out and then we like glued them in, and it's still holding to this day. It held for a long time. Then we bought a different mower, but a couple years later. But I don't know what we're gonna do yet with this one. We gotta figure out the parts pricing and how we're gonna go. But I'm gonna show you pulling that one out, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. I've been doing this alone, pulling these out. Christoph helped me with a couple of them, and then he got a phone call from Gerhardt. He had to go help him with something. And yeah, so saying all the other bearings are good, and then this one, I got a screwdriver holding it, but there's no balls really in there anymore. Pull that out, it'll slide a little easier. But I guess there's still some balls in there. It looks like a couple of them popped out, but normally with that happening, you normally have your cutter bar lock up, because one of those balls, that's all it takes, or even a smaller piece of metal, needs to get between another tooth when they come together, and ting, it doesn't end well. It's normally catastrophic. But I don't know. Freddie said he caught this sucker about instantly, and he wasn't lying, because there should be a lot more broken if this happened at any other moment. But yeah, well, I guess you can, I can't really show you how I do this. Normally I use that screwdriver. And these gears are smaller, so these two are smaller right here, and then everywhere else they're big gears, and then at the front there's 3 small ones. But yeah, okay. Well, you see, it was actually going very easy with the screwdriver and my fingers, but holding the camera here, I guess I can try it. All the other ones were big. Mother, that hurt. Oh. So, you guys can see the struggle of this. And yes, this is a small gear, so it's going harder. The bigger ones are actually nicer because they reach from one hole to the other. And yeah, normally you'd have this flat and it wouldn't slide back on you, but we didn't really want to take the cutter bar off, because then you're always flipping it back and forth to hit those out. And for the most part, I've been doing all this work standing, so that's always really nice too. We've just had down here this little bit of work kind of are low to the ground, but it's manageable. Anyways, I'm gonna get that out. Got a little bit of a snag here, but as I was coming up, the balls, whatever were still in the bearing, were falling. Okay, that one went for a joyride. Anyways, so now there's no balls holding this the inside of the bearing to the gear, but it's a little too big to be able to pop out. And what I'm having here is right here, what is that, 1/4 inch lip, which that's not a problem. I used a screwdriver and I popped the gear up, but I can't get my screwdriver under the race part that's farther back to get it over. So yeah, it's a very good thing that this machine got shut off when it did, because you have 10 of those little balls floating around in here. It don't take long to make some damage. Well, I'll get it out of there. Just gotta fiddle with it, and then we'll get the last couple out. I gotta take one more turtle off also, because we gotta clean this and flush it. I had to end up popping that. I had to pop it out right here. I could not get it. She was on the end of her life. Here, I'll show you. Popping this out. Well, we got everything, this whole cutter bar stripped now. And we even took out there's one gear. It's a little bit bigger than these small ones. So the only thing, so the very first one that connects to the drive one, and we pulled all of them out. That way we can fully flush it and get out any of the metal that came from this.
There's not much in there, but yes, a little bit.
Anything that's in there. We're gonna flush it out with some diesel. Should be good.
Got all new O-rings coming. A couple of gears.
O-rings for those wedge pieces.
These for the turtles.
But
that one.
This is a lot of work for one bearing, but it could have been a lot more expensive. It's honestly not going to cost too much to fix. This is the first idler bearing.
Yes.
We didn't even have one go out on the old Big M, did we?
No. Well, yes.
We did, we? Oh, I guess we did bearings once on it.
Yeah, fucking junk. That one was so loose as a goose.
We did it because they were loose, right? Yeah. I don't think we had one blow.
No, we changed them.
Yeah, but this one, everything else is tight, so I don't know why this blew, because it really shouldn't have.
No.
It had oil in it, and the bearing honestly wouldn't go because low on oil. It would destroy the gears, because these are sealed bearings. I mean, I'm not saying oil doesn't get in there or anything, but there was oil in there, so. Yeah. But we did find the crack on this cutter bar.
Pick it up, or you want...
Yeah, pick it up some to head height so we can work on it. We knew this was leaking oil, but when it was still under warranty, but they couldn't find the leak.
Well, no, I don't think that was that. I think that leak was over there. I think that's new, because he checked it before he went mowing 2 days before this.
Yeah.
So I think
because in the spring when Mitch was here,
that was new.
They did the gaskets down there, which is they said that's where they leak normally. It's kind of known after such an age, so that's why they changed that, because they couldn't find the leak the previous year. But that's after enough experience with these being out, they ended up finding out that's a fail point. So that's why he was here doing a lot of preventative maintenance / fixing that stuff too. You gotta go up, and then that was, he knew it was still leaking, but we couldn't find this leak. But Ferdy always checked it and filled it. Whoa, 1 second. Which one is it? Wait, I gotta find it. Oh, you're not high enough. It's this one. I said wait. But anyways, we couldn't find this leak because it was under all the skid plates. That'll work. And it's cracked right there. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to cut these 4 welds off and knock this off. This is the front holder.
The whole thing is welded on the back. The whole way across, it's all welded.
Oh.
Yes, it's cute.
So we have to do a lot of cutting wheeling. But we gotta cut this off. I guess you could have got a new one, so it would be flush, but it don't matter.
Nah, we'll weld this bitch back on. Yep. Let me guess, the language. Watch language. Why? It is this one, ain't it? Right here. That's the one.
Oh, I was looking at the wrong one.
It's this one. Good thing I said something. You'd be fucking, I want something else.
I thought I saw it cracked here too.
No,
yes, that's cracked too.
Oh, it is.
See, I wasn't wrong. Yeah, so there's 2 cracks.
That's even worse. More work.
Yeah, so tell me I wasn't right. I just didn't see the second one. That's right. We just found another breakdown on camera. Alrighty, so we're gonna cut 2 of them off and check for any other ones. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen now. But this isn't why the bearing went, because there was oil in it. Ferdy's been topping it off.
No, he never topped it off. He put new oil in it this spring, that's it.
And he checked 2 days ago.
Yeah, but he didn't put any in.
It wasn't low yet?
Nope.
So it must be this.
I mean, maybe it is. He stopped it when it was coming out. Because you can't really tell, really.
Yeah. It don't really matter. We had to take oil out, so I'm not too worried. And we gotta fix it now. We're making progress on this. I guess right now I got one of them cut off. This one, because we found 2 cracks. don't know how many recordings clips ago that was, maybe 1 or 2. But it's also been a couple hours since I've been working on this or doing some other stuff. And we just got a huge downpour for about 30 minutes. But we found this crack here. And I initially only saw the small one that was up here, and Christoph saw this one. But anyways, don't matter. Got to fix both now. So what you do is you cut the top 2 welds off, because this part right here holds the skid plates. And then in the back, it's welded 2 good beads right here, or 1 good one here, 1 good one here, and then there's a small bead right there. All you got to do is cut through that. Try not to cut into the cutter bar too bad, at least. And then you can see right here when I would hit it with a hammer that it's just a little bit still on there, but enough to break off. And swinging with my left hand. I meant to catch it, but you know, I can't do that with one hand. Anyways, I could have hit it back up. It would have kind of worked the metal, but you see, I wanted to show it fall off on camera. This one I did a lot better than the other one. I didn't nick the cutter bar at all. This one right here, I went too straight of an angle cutting. I didn't go with the thing. It also came off easier, but that don't matter. Now here you see that I cut behind the bead off right here for this plate, because I want to be able to wedge it down like this. I got to take this slag off, or not slag, but weld, because this crack goes right back to here where my finger is, just a little bit. And this one doesn't look like it does that. It goes right here. I'm gonna clean this one up, because if I don't have to take it off, I'm not going to, but I gotta track where the crack goes. And well, I'll have that. I don't know if we ever, Christoph would know better. I was really young when we got the first Big M. The Big M 400 we didn't have long enough to have any issues. And like this at least. But yeah, I don't know if we ever welded on the Big M one. I do know we rebuilt the cutter bars, and maybe we did replace 1 cutter bar. So I could be wrong, but I was also really young. There's a good chance we did, just because that machine has 70,000 acres on it in its lifetime, something like that. So she's seen a lot of mowing. This one right here, like 11,000 so far. I got all this grinded. See where the crack is pretty good here. This one I still got to cut it off, but I got all the weld. I was still here. I got the crack right there. You can see it. I got to cut this off because this crack's going underneath. This one was coming out, so I can just pull this one down and do it. But I'll weld it back on, grind it smooth. So we'll do that, and then I'll V this sucker almost all the way through. We'll put a nice bead on it, and we'll grind it and then hit it with the sander wheel so it's smooth, and it should all work out pretty good. Yes, we haven't got to the white truck just because we've been busy. All we really got to do on it is lift it up with the payloader, stick the jack stands all the way up as much as we can spread it, and then switch those springs out, and it'll be good to go. I did get this tractor fixed as much as I could. Changed out a handful of electronic components. Now it's reading all the gears, starting. The only thing it's not doing is sensing all the gears, if that makes sense. So it'll say it's in that gear, but it's not engaging it. I guess that's the right word. But they just got to calibrate it. I got a paper on how to do it, but I don't know if I can do it without a computer. I'm not 100% sure, but they said they're going to calibrate it for us, and I really don't want to screw that up. So I'm just not going to. Anyways, and the other thing I had to do was, this had a huge fuel leak on the return line side. Right here is these. It's not focusing. Yeah, that's stripped, and that one is also stripped. The middle one was okay, but the gaskets were all bad on all 3. So we got all the stuff, and I just replaced all 3 since you had to have it apart to do it. But now there's no more fuel leak. And then Cornelius is doing the motor oil on this, so that's good. And then it'll be ready to be calibrated, but it's already in here. We're gonna do the engine oil, so it's done. And I guess the other last thing is I need a new AC compressor. That blew up when we were trying to diagnose what was wrong with the transmission. It was when finally got it started, and then I started smoking up in the engine. So saw that it was an AC compressor bad. Cornelius is hiding from the camera. That's okay. Oh, here they are. I can see these are just the small rubbers on the sides, not the downwards one, but one on both sides I had to change. And then this was sitting in those nuts right there. I changed 2 of them, the one that was stripped, and you had to take a needle nose screwdriver and kind of rip it in half to get it out. But you could see just where it sat anyways, it was already wear down. This was the middle one, so it wasn't leaking as bad. The other 2, one of them was non-existent, the other one was barely. We've been working on a handful of stuff, so it's dirty again in here. That's what's going on. You gotta be on the camera too sometimes. We got this mower deck all prepped. I had to cut that off like I was saying, because this crack was coming about to here. And then this one is going to here, but I don't have to take it off. And I basically gouged it in almost to being all the way. Like right here, you can really see it's close to, but that way I can get a nice deep penetration on this weld. Won't leak, and it'll be strong again. And then once it's cooled down after, I'll grind it and hit it with a sanding wheel so it's perfectly flush. But I'm gonna do that in the morning tomorrow because it's already, what time is it? It is already 8:30, and yeah, I don't want to weld on something that has grass on it this late at night right before leaving. It's not a good idea. I don't think anything will happen, but I don't need anything to happen. But Christoph pressure washed some of this chopper.
What? Oh, I thought you.
I was talking. I said you pressure wash some of the chopper because he's got a big oil leak. He was. He was waiting on He was waiting on the part to come in, which is this thing. It's actually cracked, so he's got a new one here, but the fittings aren't the same size, the hole. So we got to take off the hoses and get the different ends put on, because the 90s that Napa has don't go to the fittings that this hose will have. So we have to cut the hoses or replace them if they have any chafings on them once we get them off to the end that'll match the fittings he has. It's kind of stupid that they changed the hole size.
It goes up to, I thought it went to my header, but it's going to the...
He's been searching the 2 hoses and he's not having a good time. But yeah, we're gonna get those 2 hoses off tomorrow also, because we're about done for the night.
It's not gonna be an easy one.
He's not happy. It's a hard one.
Just gay.
So we gotta show the... Anything to say to the camera? No. We actually tore this apart out here, the Big M, because it was really nice out. It was hot, but we had shades. And then we looked at the weather and it was gonna have that downpour that we got, so we brought the mower inside, but we got all the turtles and the skid plates off out here, but it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll say thanks for watching. Till the next one.